Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
And I am Brittany Boot, and I'm the owner of Boot Photography Studio.
And obviously, Johnny Popko couldn't make it this week, but he'll be back next week. We're here with Conor O'Brien and Simone Daniel, who are both local actors, writers, and they're going to be appearing in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland in a few months, which is pretty cool. And they're also going to be doing some stuff locally that we're going to be talking about as well. So we're going to cover the local theater scene in general, and what it's like, and the shows that you should be catching in the area. Later on, we'll talk about the Scranton Fringe Festival, Scranton Shakespeare Festival, lots of theater-related festivals in Scranton. And at the end of the show, we asked for your comments about Wilkes-Barre Township Police and the things that they've been posting on Facebook lately. It's kind of stirred up some local controversy, and people have interesting arguments on both sides, so we're going to read some of those tonight. So if you want to leave any comments or questions about any of these topics, please do so right now on the comment section that you see right below, and we'll get to those in a little bit. So first of all, we want to talk about how did you get into theater in the first place?
I was 12, 13 years old, and my sister, who is herself also a professional theater artist and has been a dear friend and colleague to both Simone and I, took me to a local community theater audition. And it's such an old cliche, but I was bitten by the bug, and it took root, and it combined my love of storytelling and attention, and all those, and just the amalgamation of so many different things, and it just, ever since then, it went from amateur to semi-professional to getting those first couple of paychecks, and the story goes on, and may it never end. Gross. Anyway.
I took dance when I was little, like most girls in the area.
Yeah.
I took dance. I started taking dance when I was really, really young, and I just always loved like dress ups. It's like my most favorite. Like it's my love it. But like I'm kind of a nervous person, and acting is like a safe way to get a really intense adrenaline rush. Like,
right.
If I go up and I mess up on stage, it's like, oh, okay, they know, I know, but that's,
sure.
Nothing's broken, nobody's dead, like, it's not a big deal, and it's, like, super, super exciting. It's like jumping out of an airplane, I guess. I don't know, I never have and I never will. So, it's a metaphor.
Well, that's what acting is all about, embodying what other people would do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a really good escape from all this.
Ugh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, with local theater, I think it's always a challenge to get people to come out to a show and to give it a shot and to understand what it is and what's going on and things like that. I think a lot of people feel like a movie or something is pretty safe, where it's okay, I can go, I can leave if I want to, if I don't like it or whatever. With theater, it's very, very different kind of experience. So how do you get audiences to come to your shows and engage people?
Begging for me. Mostly begging. No.
And when I say we, Simone and I are both members of a local professional company called the new Vintage Ensemble. Mm-hmm. Really, and Simone's being humble, but we as individuals really can't take too much of the credit for that. We have a really phenomenal team. We've never wanted for an audience, and it's not to say that we don't need more. And
always if anyone's free.
It's not like we're good.
When we do stuff, you should come. It's great.
It's phenomenal. But it's never been like, oh, I hope people come. It's been growing and growing for 3 or 4 years. 4 years. We have a phenomenal. I think many people would know Mandy Pennington, Mandy Boyle Pennington from NEPA BlogCon. Worked as a social media marketing director with NetDriven. Is a phenomenal actress and theater talent, and really heads up a lot of our marketing initiatives.
She's like one of those Beyonce people who you're like, you must have more hours in your day. There
Yeah.
must be more hours in your day because you don't make sense outside of this.
She goes to like a pocket dimension.
Yeah, I
And
know. She
then-
has like a Hermione time turner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, where their spreadsheets are just made
Yeah.
constantly. But no, I mean, so just that's one example of someone who brings another set of incredible skills, you know, to our collective. And at the end of the day, we just, anytime we do a show, big or small, it's just, why are we doing this? And sometimes the answer is because it's a fun show and we want to entertain people, and that's a great reason. But always, if we're doing this, we're going to do it well, and we're going to do it as best we can in every department, not just what you see on stage, but the minute you walk in the door, the audience experience, how it was marketed.
Because like the audience is kind of the hardest part. Like that's at the end of the day, like, yeah, okay, we do it because we love it, but like you are doing it for them. They're coming in there with the expectation that you are doing it for them, so you have to do right by them, and you have to make their time valuable. So when you ask them to come, we feel like it's an important part of it to put out really good marketing materials, to respect their time, to respect their taste, to respect them as a person, and show that like, I'm going to reach out to you with great effort to get you to come share this thing with me.
Right.
Right. So with the Darling Corps, now that's an original play that you guys wrote or put together yourself a few years back.
Correct.
We did a review on it, I believe last year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even the year before.
Might be the year before.
2 years ago, just found that out.
Wow.
I was like, that was 2 years ago?
Yeah,
This
but-
afternoon, I was totally freaked out.
Flew by so quickly. So tell us a little bit about that show and you know why you're still doing it 2 years later now.
Good
Cool.
question.
That's a great question. We've actually, it's the show itself is just over 3 years old. We wrote, Simone and I co-wrote and we co-star in it. It's a two-person show. We originally premiered it at the 2014 Pittsburgh Fringe Festival, which was a phenomenal experience. And then we did it in Scranton, and then we did it in New York City, and then we kind of retired it for a little bit. It's always been kind of this thing in the back of our minds and tweaking it. And then serendipitously, a lot of opportunities and doors opened themselves for this summer and this upcoming season. And so we decided it was a really good time to revisit it, and I'll let Simone maybe talk a little bit about what the show is about, but that's kind of a very rough outline of its production history.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we knew we didn't want to do the exact same show again because we had kind of done that, like, script-wise, and it's like, okay, we get it. Like, where it was once, like, it used to kind of be about a toxic relationship and how, like, codependency works. But, I mean, the past 2 years have flown by because they've been a terrible 2 years. Like, the world has gone completely off the rails. So we decided if we were going to do it again, if we were going to take it to these different places, like, it has to be something more relevant, or I'm just not going to care enough to do the work that we have to do. So it's kind of become a bit more about these characters in particular, more about them and less about their relationship in a way, and more about just the world, the current world, and
Yes.
you know, lots of different things. The way anyone would interact with our world in lots of different ways, gender roles, like class issues, like all these different things. It's not really preachy, we hope, but
Sure.
but it's
And it's
more
not
relevant to us
you
now.
know, not necessarily political either. Like I thought it was
No.
interesting the show in New York recently that's been making headlines where they took Julius Caesar and
the public.
update it essentially. You know, they're wearing modern clothes and things like that, but people saw it as an attack on Trump, which I think is so interesting that the show that you could take a show that was written, you know, how many years ago by Shakespeare, and still have it not only, you know, I mean, Shakespeare stuff is always going to be relevant, but to have it that politically relevant that people are that angry and they're pissed about it and everything else.
Right.
I think it's so interesting that you could take something, not even change a word of it, just change their wardrobe.
Where they look, yeah.
And that's enough to get it to.
And I mean, I'm kind of like so annoyed that there's so much controversy over this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, someone's like, oh, I'm updating Julius Caesar. Let me guess. Julius Caesar's going to be based on the current president.
Right.
Like, that's just how people do it. And it just so happens that our current president is ridiculous and terrifying. So people are, like, ridiculously terrified about it. And it's just really...
What there's two elements to it that also flabbergast me. One, that people his constituency base are getting up in arms and offended.
Snowflakes.
It's exactly. But if you read the play or know anything basic about it, in this context, Julius Caesar's not even really the villain.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a play about right or wrong. It's a play about politics. And I mean,
Yeah.
Brutus is the main character. And you know what? We're not getting paid by the public, so I'm not gonna. The public theater that's producing it. And secondly, a lot of it came out of after I think it was Delta that pulled its sponsorship of the public and Shakespeare in the Park. It was interesting enough, they didn't pull their sponsorship in 2012 when, well, not then, I apologize, excuse me, let me correct that. They weren't sponsoring that. But there wasn't as much public controversy in 2012 when I think it was like in Minneapolis when another theater company did a large-scale production of Julius Caesar, and it was 2012, so naturally it kind of resembled the Obama administration.
Sure.
Just because, as Simone just said, just because it's the obvious card to play, and it's the obvious... But so there is something incredibly, there's a tension about the current administration, so it almost is... People getting mad about it kind of already broke their own argument by getting mad about it. It's like the...
And like validating.
Exactly. Well,
it completely.
validating it, but also if you see something in this play that you think you have the right, you think is offensive to your president, then it's your president. It's not the play. It's
Right.
not. Then it's not the. If it was totally out of left field, that's not
This
accurate.
500-year-old play, I don't know how old. This hundreds-of-year-old play is hitting a little
Three
close to
something.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cautionary tale feels too familiar. How dare you, sir?
You forget yourself, madam. Seriously though, it's ridiculous. But and I apologize. I mixed up my messaging about the Delta thing. It is interesting though just to see how relevant theater can still be.
Right.
This is an absurd example of it.
Sure.
But it's kind of that's kind of nice to hear. Sort of.
Ooh.
Sort of.
Good loop around to our play because it's
Yeah.
based on the characters of Adam and Lilith from like Bible lore. So we're taking the original humans, I guess, the OG failures, and telling there's like where they are now,
Yeah.
and like what's going on.
Yeah, and for the past 100 years or so in the world we've created, they have literally been alive for eternity, and they've been a vaudeville duo for the last 100 or so years.
What's more theatrical? Really,
So what's
than
more theatrical
religion?
and relevant and
I
interesting?
think one of the telltale things of good art is that it is timeless. So anything that people could be relate to 500 years ago in a play that they could go through the generations and still affect people in the same way.
Hopefully.
Or history repeating itself,
Yeah.
But that's hitting on the truth then, because the
Right.
truth doesn't change, just the dressing
The frame
around
does.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, we're hoping that people will respond to it. I mean, the play that you saw, Rich, it is still I mean, it's not like...
It's not a full rewrite.
No. But it's...
The bones are there.
The bones are still there. A lot of the same witty jokes are still there.
That's a big claim, Witty. That's a big
Good
claim.
job, guys.
Disclaimer. No.
People have. This is. I'm all about our fake modesty. My modesty's fake. Her modesty's real. But no. But it's the we hope when we say anything we hope that the charm is still there, the wit is still there. We want people to come see this.
Yes, come.
But yeah, no, just come. We're really excited. We had a phenomenal director, and she is still working with us. As I mentioned, my sister Maggie O'Brien, actually, as our super executive producer on behalf of the ensemble and original developer. But we all felt we need a new, fresh set of eyes, so we are really thrilled. We have a phenomenal actor and theater artist by the name of Daniel Home, who has performed and produced work at the Edinburgh Fringe. Professional actor. He's actually here performing in a one-man show at the Scranton Shakespeare Festival coming up June 23rd and 24th are his dates. Yeah.
Skin of the Teeth, 8 p.m. Oldberg.
There we go.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be great.
You can Google it. Great reviews.
But we've been working with him to get it back up on its feet, and he's been collaborating on the rewrite process a little bit with us and just giving us some guidance and perspective, and it's been such a lovely process.
So lovely.
It's been so nice. And it's really nice to have a totally unbiased new set of eyes on the piece. I mean, if he didn't have faith in it, he could have just said no.
Busy.
Yeah, sorry guys, but the fact that he was interested enough and has seen it through and has continued to work with us, and at every level, the artistic level, done the Edinburgh Fringe to the from the abstract to the very practical, like this is how you're going to make through your days, because it's the 70th annual Edinburgh Fringe, It's already the world's largest arts event, and this is the largest it's ever been. It's like 4,000 approximate shows throughout the month of August.
And who doesn't love crowds?
And who just doesn't love a large crowd in the middle of August?
Yeah. Should be great.
It's going to be fabulous. No, we're very excited. And then when that opportunity came through, there is a very highly celebrated festival in New York, off Broadway at the 59 East 59 Theaters. I believe it's 59th between Lexington and Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
We don't have to do this anymore. There's technology now.
We have the power. It's on East 59th Street. That is the East to Edinburgh Festival, so it's a curated festival of all work from North America heading over to Edinburgh that we were fortunate enough to be placed within. So we'll be doing that in July, and then before then, even, we're going to be at the Cooperage Project in Honesdale for the second year of a new Vintage Ensemble residency program that they invited us in for, which we're really grateful. They just, this a few weeks ago, or a week or two ago, Sarah Regan
Right, yeah, we posted about
had
that.
The world will stop if we make a mistake.
Love that place so freaking much.
So the most charming, adorable,
Love it.
Honest, lovely, every adjective you can imagine. So it was weird because that is also a two-person show, a man and a woman. And it's weirdly enough, it plays with a lot of when I went to see it, I realized a lot of similar themes.
Very similar.
But just from a very positive perspective.
Yeah.
Like hope.
Yeah.
And change and growth and ours. Not that ours doesn't.
No, it was cool. It was cool to see, because she did some rewrites too from when I saw it last year at the Fringe and sobbed openly and horrifyingly
Not a dry eye in the
openly
house.
like,
Not a
at
dry
the
eye in
Fringe.
the house.
And then I went again this time. Same thing happened, but it was just she did some rewrites too, and I was like, oh wow, like. It's like we planned how well these shows go together.
Yes.
Because we did. No,
we totally did.
No, but it was cool. It was very.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal to see.
Well, kind of like what you were saying, a lot of good theater can be very organic and develop, as the years progress and things like that. Now, if somebody else were to do the Darling Court, like if you say in a few years you want to retire it and give it to somebody else, what do you think somebody else would bring to it?
Let me tell you.
A
First
check.
off, yeah. yeah. That's the dream, Rich. No,
That's a really good question.
Yeah, that's like something I've always, like every single time we do it, I just like sit there grumpy, like I just want to see somebody else do this because I would love that. I know what I bring to it. I know what I've been bringing to it, and I hope, I hope to keep bringing new things to it, but I would just love to see someone else completely different from me play.
I feel like that would be really exciting.
It would be the most exciting thing that ever happened
Yeah.
to me. It would just, my mind would, because it's like, it's real then. It doesn't exist inside of me, it exists outside of me. And it's been taken on by, it means something different
Someone else
now.
is absorbing it.
Yeah.
One of our goals in going to the Edinburgh Fringe
They bring
is
their story to it.
a few royalty and publishing houses hopefully seeing it, and if they pick it up and then it just spreads like wildfire. We do feel, it's a two-person show that does leave so much from the script perspective, so much for interpretation. I would want to send it to someone. They could ask a couple of questions, and then that's it. Do whatever you want. And I mean that kindly. Like, don't.
I want nothing to do with
Don't do
developing
what we
it.
did.
I want a different show.
Don't look at our videos. Don't look at our photos. Take it, because hopefully the themes that we've created within it can be so universal and transformed. Do it in a different country. Do it.
Yeah. And also, I think it would be a great duo piece for speech and debate.
Yes.
As before, speech and debate
Yes.
nerds.
If there are
I would
any high schoolers,
they can do it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, contact us. We will totally.
Oh, that's the dream.
Oh my
With
gosh.
their little binders, like all nervous, and they're like tucked in shirts.
They'd have to say our names.
They would have to
say our names.
Oh my god.
The Darling Court
I'm
by
getting
Simone
vexed.
Daniel and Conor O'Brien, and then they would go like sing.
I'm so excited. Wow. Okay.
Are the phones ringing yet? Are they coming? Are they? No. We just gotta know.
One day
No.
it'll open its Shikellemy.
One clap.
Yeah, speech and debate, like after they announce the winners, because there's so many people, you only get one clap. So they'll be like, in second place, Simone Daniel. And like everyone claps.
Only
one
first
Not like
place.
a tournament?
Yeah, only
when
first
they
Is
place.
that
announce
like
the winners.
universal? Like,
Yeah, and if that's the rule. And then
My
if you win
sister was
first
big into
place,
speech and
Yeah.
yeah. So if you win first place, they'll give you a little.
This would be duo too.
Yeah.
Duo was hard.
Yeah, that's it. Duo was real hard, and they would.
Man.
It's hard. I mean, how many times are you going to see the Odd Couple?
We joked about
on a
that.
Saturday morning,
We
you know?
we joked about that so many times in someone's like English class. We joked about that so many times that when we first were doing it, like, this is such a good speech and debate piece. We literally initially, it's majorly changed, but initially it was blocked like a speech
That
and
was
debate.
the plan, because Maggie was like a total speech and debate kid.
Yeah.
So she was like, this is a duo piece. We're like, weird. All right.
It helped.
Yeah.
It helped a lot with the development of it. So to answer your question, everything. No, different. Totally different.
What would you, you've been to a few different fringe festivals, you've been to different areas and done theater outside of northeastern Pennsylvania and everything. What do you think is unique about theater in northeastern Pennsylvania?
There's like a certain recklessness about it, which I just love. Like, I love that. There's very little hope of financial reward or being able to sustain yourself professionally doing it. So the only reason to do it is because you just fucking love it. Like, you love it, and you want to be the best that you can be, and you want to try new things, and you want to get this rush, and you want to be with other people who think like you. And it's just, and that's like what we do in Scranton. Even if you're not in theater, you go to a bar and you sit there for hours, and everyone just kills themselves to make the person next to you laugh, or like get them on your side, or feel something, or sway them to your point. So that's our culture. That's what we do here. And the theater scene is just like a really ornate, kind of like costlier, planned out version of our culture. So it's really, really exciting to be a part of that.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said, mostly except for the part about the financial.
Oh yeah, I mean there is financial gain to be had, but it's not like
no one's making millions.
I'm gonna get a mansion.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna live in Glenmora because I do plays.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
We're also, with that mindset, we're really hard audiences.
Yeah.
And by that, I'm not saying like, I'm putting myself in that category. Like, I am a ridiculously hard audience to please. That's why Scranton was like the vaudeville capital of the East. It was, if you can play Scranton, you can play anywhere. It literally, that was the phrase that originated here. Because we had a mixture. We had the coal miners and the coal barons and immigrants and, everything in between you can imagine. And we, the faces have changed, the countries of origin have changed, but we still have we have the working class, we have, the more highly educated, we have a small, tiny percentage of like the very, very wealthy and elite that still, summer in Scranton. Or, or at least, what'd you say? But yeah, so we have everything she said, plus we have really diverse audiences, I think, that make us not necessarily as diverse as they could be by that comment, but I'm in the sense of like social class range.
Sure.
We have a wide taste. You will never 100% please a single audience. I've never done a show in Scranton that I think like everyone in
It's a
that room-
hit. No, it wasn't.
No.
For some of them, yeah. Some people here.
If you get a 70% hit, that's a hit. Like
Yeah.
70% of the audience is like. Oh,
But I mean, that's anywhere really.
because 3 people are going to get up. You made the comment earlier about like going to the movies, like, oh, like I can get up if I want. People feel that same way about theater.
Yeah, me too. I love when people walk out.
Oh, I think it's great,
It's
especially
so
when they're offended.
fun.
Especially when they're offended.
And you're like, that's what got you? Are you fucking kidding me?
I was in a play. Can we? Are we allowed to?
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Okay, great. I was in a play. It was actually in Wilkes-Barre. It wasn't even in Scranton. This was several years ago, and it was the most mundane, tame thing in the world. It wasn't good. I'm not gonna lie. It was not a good play, and this is admittedly the playwright would sit here and admit it too. It wasn't a great play. It has since gotten better. But anyway, there was a mild scene of like sweet little cute like homosexual love between like teenagers. It was like the most basic mundane thing ever, and I apologize in advance to anyone listening. I remember this like little old man and woman in like the front row getting up. They couldn't find her purse for like 10
Oh my god.
Oh god,
they couldn't
that's
find
the
her
truth.
purse for 10 minutes. Deborah, get your purse. I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking pay to watch a bunch of FAGGOTS. And I just remember sitting on stage and like I was like 17 years old and I just. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop. And honest to God, like, afterward, the other person I was portraying the scene with was not gay. And I remember people coming up to me like, are you okay? I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I mean, was it closed-minded? Yes. I'm not condoning the thought process. But
I'm glad they couldn't find her.
I'm super glad that she could. And I also love the idea of, like, that they just... everything about it. Like, it was so worth leaving, they were going to make that much of a scene. That was probably the best part of the show. Like, the best performance.
I guess if you want to, you open their minds.
Yeah, I mean,
They because you clearly it affected them.
Yeah.
They went home and
Yeah.
thought about some stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's something.
yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
I really hope they had everything in the purse. It probably wasn't like, he probably had the car keys. Probably was nothing in that purse they needed either.
Yeah.
That was my also vision. of,
Where's the
like,
keys? Where's the keys? Sorry, babe. It's like, we're not leaving. I'm enjoying this.
Ooh, other layer. She wanted to stay. I don't know. Let's.
It's a reach.
So was that show. Yeah. Moving on.
So, how did you end up getting involved with Edinburgh? I mean, that's it's pretty far out there, and a whole other world, I would think, in terms of theater out there.
I, in a different life, am the co-founder and executive director, co-founded along with Elizabeth Bowen, of the Scranton Fringe Festival, entering its third year, September 27th through October 1st. Woo! Done. Plugged.
Now we can rest.
Until tomorrow. We're connected through different fringe festivals in the world, like literally private social media groups, email blasts, networking conferences, congresses, the Fringe Congress. Liz attended, for example, in this past November in Montreal. So we have a ton of contacts.
Is that in Erie?
I'm sorry?
Is that Edinburgh and Erie?
Scotland.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Because there's an Edinburgh, PA.
Is there
cool.
really?
Yeah.
We should go practice there.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah.
So Scotland and the United Kingdom. This is now its 70th year. So we were connected through all these different contacts, and then so we started looking into it, and it's a very different system because it's a huge beast.
Right.
We had really planned for 2018. We were like, we'll make 2018 a reality. Through a long, boring series of events, we had an opportunity to work with a phenomenal team at Greenside Venues on the Royal Terrace. And it was kind of like, it was like a really lame theater NFL draft day. That like, it was literally, made in like a 24-hour, I mean, we had all the elements together, but the final, like, are we doing this? Yes, and we decided, and it couldn't have worked out better. Like, everything has worked out. Our contracts were the smoothest process, and everything. And we knew we were going to do it in Honesdale this summer, and the timeline. So it's Honesdale, PA, July 7th and 8th, off Broadway at 59 East 59, July 11th and 16th, and then Edinburgh, August 21st through the 26th. The entire Edinburgh Fringe, we should mention, is the entire month of August. And then even a few extra days ending into September. But we will only be there for the latter half.
We're not even the only Scrantonians going.
No, we're not even.
Like
the
every
only
time I
people
talk
in
to
Scranton.
somebody, they're like, "Oh, I'm going out to see this show. A friend of mine's doing this, blah blah." And then Sandy Doria.
Yeah, Sandy Doria. It's Sandy. If you ever see this or says, I'm sorry. I know it seems phenomenal. She's doing like Prague and Paris. They're doing multiple stops. It's somewhere in here. If you can find it, it's somewhere in this guide.
Conor got that today, and he's carrying it around. We were saying before, like if we get pulled over, they're gonna be like identification, sir. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, and he's like, sir.
Page 322, Darling Cora. Do you
My
want to
name's
read
in
it?
there, sir.
Sir, this is my
Buddy,
identification.
Stop it.
All right. You can actually download this if you go to the Edinburgh Fringe website. I think it's edfringe.org. Or, again, Google Edinburgh Fringe Program 2017. You can download for free this entire monstrosity of a guide. No, but yeah, we're not only a show from Scranton. We're not the only. We're not even the only show that like sounds like our show.
Yeah.
I mean, ours is different, of course, but it's interesting how theater, especially new theater and original theater, is constantly. I think Nina Simone put it. It's always best when it like is exactly about the time. And to echo back to you, it inadvertently eventually will become timeless in that way.
And she's obviously right because her name is Simone.
Right.
So.
And she's Nina Simone.
Case closed.
I was thinking when we were starting this interview how much I like the name Simone. Totally
the
unrelated
coolest,
topic,
so.
but just
Oh
to
my
throw
God,
that out there.
No, it's fine. It's totally really. You can keep
Stop. Guys,
Conor.
guys, if you keep giving her this attention, she'll just want more.
Don't start me. I was in one dance recital when I was 2. Here we are, 27 years later. I ain't leaving this couch.
Yeah.
Where were we?
I don't know.
You started me. It's your show.
Simone, the other Simone.
Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talking about how art should be of its time and timeless. And we're so excited to bring Adam and Lilith back out of retirement again. It's also just so funny about how like the show is about a show that never ends.
Yeah,
and the
'cause
show
it never ends. We just keep doing it. And I always hate you when we do it. We always fight.
We fight constantly. It's weird because the characters are at each other's throats.
You're echoing
And
that.
it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is method.
Fine, great, whatever.
No, we're super healthy friendship. We're just being.
I'll tell you guys a
method.
story right now. When we did the Pittsburgh Fringe Festival, we were having lunch. Like, it was the most pleasant lunch you could imagine. We were at each other's throats for the dumbest things. Can I have a fork? Could I just do my own thing for 2 minutes? Am I your keeper? Like, that
The
was...
whole ride home, you weren't allowed to talk.
I
6.5
still
hours.
did,
I was
but
like,
it was-
don't
I still
even
did.
breathe loud. It made me, every time you would talk, I would just like look at you. Like I wanted to slap your butt. Like it makes, I don't know what
We
it
also
is.
want to clarify so everyone thinks we're making ourselves sound horrible. This is no one else.
Well, there it is.
24 hours later, we were fine. Like, it's if it didn't happen. But
Yeah, it's tense. It's a
there's
tense
no
show.
one else I could do the show with. I'll say
Yeah,
that much right
yeah.
now. Like, I would actually... I would just kill the other person. Because that would
Do
be...
it. In my name. Do it.
Blood. Chaos. Reigns.
Yeah.
That's like a show in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone could write a show about you guys doing the show together.
There you go. Very meta.
If anyone's looking for
They're still not phones.
next year's Fringe proposal. Some creeps at home writing Conor Simone
fan fiction. Make me so happy.
I would die. That's the other dream. That's
the
our
other
other
dream.
secret
Yeah,
dream.
that someone will eventually write fan fiction about something we create.
Yeah.
But
Simple dreams.
we've openly talked about, because we've, like every writer and actor, we have 10 web series in our heads, that if we ever produced one, if it had any degree of in Pennsylvania, any kind of fame, we want to run a contest where you create the most messed up fan fiction based on our work, and then we'll produce it. We'll make that actually happen. It has to be like weird. It has to.
Yeah.
That's the only descriptor I would give it. Weird.
Yeah.
Has to be weird. Yeah.
Coming to Scranton Fringe Fest 2018.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do it, man.
I'm so excited.
Do it. I would pay.
I can't go back to my life now.
Right. That would be funny to have to pay to get into the show that's about you.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. It'd be like the cast of Twilight having to go pay to go see 50 Shades of Grey, which was actually a fan fiction about Twilight.
It
Yeah.
was.
That's where the money is.
She's not an idiot.
So completely off topic
Business-wise.
from that.
Yes.
This is just a personal thing that I've been wondering. What do you make of the success that's come out of a show like Hamilton? You know, like that seems to be the big show that everybody's talking about in terms of theater for people who are outside of theater, people that don't just, you know, they don't go see every single Broadway show or anything like that. But I mean, it's booked for years. Everybody wants to see this thing. I thought it seemed just such a weird concept to me that the whole rap musical about founding fathers and things like that. I mean, it just sounds like it sounds like an SNL skit. Like it sounds like it should be bad. Like obviously I haven't seen it, so I'm sure it's phenomenal. I've heard some of the music from it; it's great, but it just sounds like it should be bad. Yet it's so good, and everybody keeps talking about it. What do you make of the success of a show like that?
First off, we can perform it for you right here if you like. 'Cause,
Okay,
you know,
great.
Literally every
Every
single
single
word.
word.
All right,
Every
every
single
single
word. It's incredible. But at the end of the day, like with Hamilton, I think it just introduced the concept of hip hop to sheltered white nerds. Which is like, they're like, whoa, they talk really fast and it rhymes and they say really cool things about like power struggles and society and government and leadership. And it's like, well, that's hip hop, dummy. Like, that's what it is. So I think it was like, you know, using this very like archaic art form and putting it with like the most relevant modern art form that we have. And that just blew people's minds. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is just excellent
genius.
at what he's just freaking incredible. It's just so well executed. It's not
good.
hokey. It's not a gimmick. It's just exquisitely well done.
Nor is it pretentious. It's
No,
just,
not even.
It's just right on the...
It's just absolutely stunning.
The music is also just the most fun thing in the world.
Like, I have a joke with a couple friends of mine. It's like, if you listen to the second half of the Hamilton soundtrack, you're a freak because you will cry so hard and then your day is like ruined.
First
Like,
half
why
is
would you
like,
listen to the second half of Hamilton? You're sick. We have things to do today.
Hamilton Part 1 is like,
Yeah, so it's
Get
like
this
gym
done.
music.
Yeah.
And then the second half is like mortality. It's like weird. It's excellent though,
Yeah.
and then I think I haven't like listened to any music from either, but the play that just won the Tony Award for Best Musical,
Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen, seems
Yes.
like another. So I'm waiting for like a long private car
I
ride.
hate it.
You hate it? I don't know
I
anything
saw
about
it.
it.
I saw it. Listen, I won't. I did not.
I don't care.
It's incredibly. I shouldn't. It's incredibly beautiful, and the actors are incredibly talented. It just something about it, Dear Evan Hansen. It was just. It didn't mesh with me.
But it's kicking up. I'm hearing a lot of like more buzz about it than I would have like on the town. Like
Oh,
a couple
God,
years ago.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, God,
it's
yeah.
like a thing now. So like people like Hamilton introduced like hip hop to people who were like, whoa, I hate 50 Cent, and then you know it also introduced Broadway to people who were like,
Correct.
this is fucking hokey, and I will not.
Right.
I will not waste my time. This is
Right.
nonsense. So it's weird. Like it's in like Broadway's in this bit of this like blockbuster revival.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Well,
Right.
found a way to translate to people that it wouldn't normally.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's yes, it's cool.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's about, breaking the barriers.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Art is art, man.
Yeah.
Lynn, what would be nice of the thing about Broadway that's the fear that comes. Hamilton, he was already Tony nominated. I think Tony winning from Into
Yeah,
the Heights.
nice.
He would phenomenally recognized artist, not to the international degree he is now after Hamilton, but Hamilton launched so many careers. There are so many people that had certain degrees of fame or literally were like a couple of off-Broadway credits out of school. Just
Right.
I mean. Just
You will
absolute-
see the cast of Hamilton in everything.
for the rest of
like
eternity. Davy Diggs.
Davy was on like Kim
Unbreakable
Schmidt this
Kimble Schmidt.
season. He was on Blackish a little bit. Like they're just everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere now.
Eliza, what's the actress's name? Philippa.
No, Philippa Sue.
She's she's starring in her own Broadway show now.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
And that was actually really cool because I mean I correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. It did so well financially that the actors like after a bit of time the original cast got cut.
I don't know what the
Because they
details
were
were.
like,
Yeah.
we're doing so well. You've been killing yourself for years to get this up. Like it's very like.
It got.
It's very cool, and they had the lottery too, which was neat because you can't get tickets. Good luck. Are you
Right.
a millionaire?
Well,
like
and
you
we
can't get
have-
tickets. So they would have a lottery to give out like 10 front row seats every single night.
and we have
They just play every day.
Aaron Burr, sir, who's coming right next door here. In
That's
a couple
right.
Weeks.
Yeah.
In January, I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh, I thought it was January.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
thought
it's
it
a
was
little
like
bit. It's
June.
the 2017-2018 season.
Oh, I thought it was like.
So everyone's just freaking out about it.
Yeah,
So
everyone is
yeah,
going
So
nuts
there you
about
go.
it.
Which is perfect
Hamilton. There, yeah.
It would be nice. The thing that the what comes with that though, Hamilton being an exception to so many rules, is that there are certain musicals and shows that can't get off the ground unless you have like a huge name attached to them.
Sure.
Like the Hello Dolly revival would never have happened if Bette Midler had. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's the thing. You always need a star, but it's
And who doesn't want to see Bette Midler?
what?
Who doesn't want to see Bette
That was
Midler?
amazing.
I'd love to.
Is that an option? Yeah. She's.
Yeah.
I bet you would. Look at that
Oh my
hair.
God, I would love
Yeah, you have a similar energy, I see. Yeah, you guys would be good friends, I bet.
Definitely.
But that's almost created a domino effect now down where like mainstream Broadway, almost everyone in the show, maybe the chorus, but like has to have a certain degree of name. So theater, it's weird as the more it becomes accessible, Broadway is becoming almost less and less accessible from an artist standpoint. But all that does is reinforce the stress that Broadway is not the only game
Yes,
in
and
the
like
world.
the real shit's
Sure.
happening like down a layer. Like,
Right, exactly. And not even necessarily, and New York is the most brilliant city in the world, but it is not the only, Chicago has some of the most beautiful
Sure, yeah.
theater.
I mean, this Fringe
you know,
Festival's full of amazing shows. There's like
Yeah.
3,000, over like
This is-
3,300 shows
Yeah.
of just people from
all over the world.
everywhere, like
Yeah.
armpit Russia and like anywhere, just bringing their best and like,
Yeah, no, this
just
is,
like I have something to say. I'm gonna try and say it,
no.
and it's gonna be cool.
It is
We're gonna like
community cross-promotion and constructive feedback, and with a little bit of natural talent, is what grows an artist and a show and an art scene. It just so happens that New York just has a ton of that, so it has an incredibly strong community and a rich history. Nothing that can't be never the same, because there'll never be another New York, but who cares? Make it totally, there'll never be another
whatever you want
Edinburgh.
here.
Yeah.
That's like the joy of this area.
Yeah.
Is that you can do whatever you want.
And you don't have to work
whenever you
an
want.
80-hour work week
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, you do somebody a favor, they'll let you rehearse in their space.
Right.
Because it's not killing them to be there. They don't have to make rent every single night. Like, everyone can survive, and we can all work together, and we can... That's not the case everywhere else.
No, New York,
Right.
you have a shoebox.
It's
You better
so
be making money every minute.
free and organic and community-oriented. Like, a friend of ours, her husband is from Where's Brent from?
Vermont.
He's from Vermont, and when he moved here, he was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" It's easy for us to take our art scene for granted in NEPA, but that's not the case everywhere. It's not just a normal way of life. Every first Friday, have the cities open up to
1,000
you,
people,
and
you know.
every single weekend being able to see a show that's really quite decent. It's. I mean, really, everyone. We're so lucky. We're so lucky here. Everyone cares. There's such a vibrant, insanely, deep music scene, and
Yes.
so many people have come out of here, and I'm just completely obsessed with this area. So I will go on all day. Obviously, you are too. That's your gig. But
Right. That's
But,
the
I mean,
whole reason we're here.
yeah, we're lucky. We're all so lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that it seems like some sort of a consistent message with people that come on the show, maybe because they're all local people that are active in doing things and putting back into the community, but everybody feels that way that comes on the show. I don't think that we've ever had somebody that felt differently. or
Even people
negatively
who
towards
haven't
it.
lived here originally,
Right.
but came here
Yeah.
later on.
It's just so
that's huge.
refreshing to actually, some people feel that way, but you see the negative so much, but it's so refreshing to actually see people come out and there's a visual oh, that person loves this area, you know?
Sure.
It's just so refreshing to hear people say it more and more now.
Yeah, we're all in this shit together.
Yeah, we are.
And that's not to
We're
say
doing
that
it.
it doesn't
We're
have
doing
its areas of constructive improvement.
Oh,
Right, well,
Yeah.
everywhere.
But
you know?
exactly, everywhere it
has its
does. It
flaws.
doesn't make it, and nothing that I don't think eventually can't be, fixed.
It's an uphill climb.
Yeah,
And then one day when we do it, and
we did it.
we're this booming, everyone knows this is this booming, thriving art scene where everyone's getting paid to do it, and it's professional, and it's amazing, and everyone's coming from all over to see our stuff, and our kids will just take it for granted, and that'll be awesome.
And then we'll burn. And
They'll
then
be
we'll burn,
oh, right, it's Scranton, it's
and then
cool.
we'll burn
It's
it to the ground.
Yeah, it's like Portland. And then you light it on fire and walk away.
and move on. Start over.
And then destroy it overnight.
Yeah.
Scranton
Now
2.0.
you
Yeah.
do it better.
Yeah.
Scranton 2.0.
So I want to touch on the Scranton Fringe Festival quick before we get to the last word.
Sure.
Now you have an announcement coming up in just a few weeks.
Yes, so the 2017 Scranton Fringe Festival, as I so shamelessly plugged earlier, will be September 27th through October 1st. That's a Wednesday through Sunday, which is already, FYI, we've added a day, so it's already a demonstration. The lineup, which includes all the productions that are coming and that'll be presented, and the list of venues, pretty much, for the most part, will be announced Sunday, June 25th at 5 p.m. at the Hilton in downtown Scranton. Public and free, open to the, cash bar. That's always the number one selling point. Again, Sunday, June 25th, 5 p.m. All ages welcome. It is a public open space for our big 2017 PR announcement party. We're really, really excited. I wish I could even, hint at one thing.
I think I photographed it last year.
Did you?
Cool.
Yeah,
great.
I think that's how I met you initially.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you photographed, or?
I photographed an announcement.
Yeah, it was the one at the
Diamond?
Ritz.
It's at the office.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
the
Oh, you
office.
came to our announcement party
Yeah.
last year. Yes. So this is the Hilton. Same concept of the event. We're going to be presenting the information a little differently. But yeah, it's going to be a really nice time. A couple of really exciting surprise announcements. And there's always more information that rolls out throughout the summer. No, but we're really, really excited, and we should have our guides in hand mid-late July.
And then I'm going to piggyback on that because I will hate myself if I don't do it really
for
quickly.
it.
If you're looking for something else to do that weekend and every other weekend through July, the Scranton Shakespeare Festival is in town, and I am so remiss to have not talked more about it because it's absolutely fucking staggering. The work that comes out of it and the quantity and quality that comes out of it in just such a short span of time, and the manpower and it's wild. And if you haven't been, please come. It is free to the public. It starts 23rd, 24th
June
with
23rd, 24th.
Skin of the Teeth and Cheeks at the Old Brick at 8 p.m. And then after that, we do Two Gentlemen of Verona at Scranton Prep, 8 p.m. and with the Sunday matinee, but that's too much to ask for me to remember all those show times. Then the week after that, they're staging Measure for Measure. Two Gentlemen of Verona has an all-male cast. Measure for Measure has an all-female cast. Same time, same place. And then after that is Damn Yankees, and they will be doing that at PNC Field at the ballpark
nice.
at 7:30 at night. And then the weekend after that is a rec weekend. So I had to get that out because it's amazing, and
It'll be really interesting to see it in that kind of format. I remember seeing one of the Scranton Shakespeare shows at Naog Park, and it was such a cool experience to have it like that, where they're up in the audience, and the audience is right there. And there's kids running around and stuff while this is going on and stuff, but the actors are just in the zone, and they're
it's cool.
It's such an interesting experience. To see it in a stadium, I think it'd be.
That's what I'm really
excited
that
about the
particularly
stadium.
is what I'm most excited
I'm
to
like
see.
pulse.
Minus
This whole season has
Danny
me like
show.
pulsing. Yeah, that's gonna be great. And it's come so far. Like the NAOG days were like great, and like I think back on it fondly, like going by and like seeing everybody rehearsing in the pavilions and just a bunch of like barefoot kids to like this gigantic season with. It's like. It's a rush, man. You want to rush. Work on that thing.
Well, maybe we'll have a few people on for that.
You absolutely should. It's very cool. I can tell you some stories.
Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're getting close to the end, so we might as well get into the last word. I know we've been super positive, so I hate to even bring up anything negative.
Bring it on, please. That's the longest we've ever gone.
So, all right. So, to briefly explain what's been going on, the Wilkes-Barre Township Police Department is not the Wilkes-Barre Police Department; it's the Wilkes-Barre Township. A lot of people have mixed that up, so I want to make sure that we're accurate in talking about it there. They have kind of changed the way that they do their social media. They started doing their Facebook a little bit different, where they were making a lot more jokes and things like that. And at first, when they started doing it probably a few months ago, I remember we shared one of the things on NEPA Scene's wall where they made a joke about, hey, we found some drugs in a parking lot.
Come get them.
Yes, would somebody like to pick these up and claim them, that kind of thing. Okay, yeah, it's funny, it's innocent, nobody gets hurt, nobody's offended, whatever. So people like stuff like that. So I think they kept kind of pushing it a little bit more, seeing what they can do. And they started posting memes. And after a while, as anybody who's seen enough memes in your social media feed, sooner or later you're going to run into some that you're like, yeah, that's not accurate, or that's not right, or you get offended, or whatever the case may be. And whenever that happens, you have kind of two sides where there's some people who are like, just get over it, it's a joke, stop being snowflakes, whatever the buzzword of the week is to shit on people. And then the other side is like, well, think about the implications of what you're saying and why you're saying it, and who you're saying it to, and who is saying it. So they had posted a couple in particular that got under people's skin. One was a girl who they were responding to a post about a topless beach, and somebody had said, officers will approach anyone going topless. Insert joke here, and they posted a picture of a guy trying to high-five a girl who's covering up her breasts. And then another person, I find that offensive or whatever, and they posted a South Park meme that says, show us on the doll where the Facebook posts hurt you. So now you're joking about sexual molestation, so that pushed a little far for people. And then later on, instead of, they had deleted the one, they left the other one. And then they said that you're going to offend, no matter what we post, we're going to offend people. Get over it, because essentially we got what we wanted out of it. We got a lot more followers. I mean, their followers are now at almost 60,000 people. People across the country are following them now. And they've, for all the blowback that they've received from people, it seems like the majority of people, at least on their page anyway, seem to be defending them and saying, yeah, you know what, I thought it was funny or whatever. And that led to, they're saying, well, it leads to increased awareness of what we do. It humanizes us because we're making jokes, we're being funny and whatever. And it also allows us to catch criminals easier, because if we post a mugshot and now 60,000 people are seeing it as opposed to maybe 2,000 or 3,000 that they had before, then we're gonna be able to identify those people easier. So they're looking at it from that perspective, and some people are looking at it from the perspective of, well, if I'm a woman, for example, and I get sexually assaulted, that kind of gives, if you're posting pictures of topless girls, that might give me the impression that it's the good old boys club, and you're not going to believe anything that I say. You're not going to take me seriously.
I would never go to them.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. I want to read some of the comments that people had said, and then we'll all talk about it. Angelo Greco says, the Facebook page is a public page that should be representing all citizens of the Wilkes-Barre area. If you want to be sexist, racist, cry free speech on your own page, go for it. But for a public entity, one that is supposed to serve often very delicate matters like hate crime, sexual assault, predatory crimes against children, it's completely inappropriate, unprofessional for them to make light of those types of issues. Kyle, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering any last names here, Guriato says, I have a crazy idea about how they can humanize the police. Treat citizens of the city with respect and do your jobs properly and ethically. Lay off the shitposting.
Pretty simple.
Katie MC says, if they insist on using humor to humanize themselves, that's fine. Let's face it, but not only is this humor offensive and alienating, but it's cheap and dumb. I love a good meme as much as the next, but it's possible to be funny and not be an asshole. Let's see. There's a few more posts like that. Ryan Mulaney says, claiming there's ultimately nothing they can do to help build public trust and acceptance during a time in which law enforcement is often looked down upon for abuse of power, poor judgment, and excessive violence and hostility all around the country, while simultaneously posting that which a poorly raised fifth grader might find hilarious, leads one to believe that actually building that trust and acceptance is not an active goal of the Wilkes-Barre Township Police Department. Arguing that it produces results for them is saying we're just doing our job, even if that job is unjust and diametrically opposed to the interests and welfare of the public they are supposed to serve. They have to do better. Whereas Mike Elward says, holy shit, y'all need to lighten up. And then Stephen Muller says, oh my God, not memes. Jessica Darrow says, is that seriously some of the stuff they have on their website? It's wrong. Let's see. There are a few more people. Matthew Williams says, dude, whatever. The shit is funny as hell. Keep up the good work. Can we please clean up the square? Holy shit, dude. The lady police... this is garble, but holy shit, dude, and lady police people. Okay. Some of those people are frightening. Whoever those people
The
in
lady
that
police
bizarre
are frightening, or the
sentences-
people on the
Like, I think
square?
he's saying that, like, lady cops are really scary to him. Maybe, so it's like-
There's
sounds
cops
he's
and there's
just-
lady
Yeah,
cops.
and, like, women in this force are strong because lady cops scare me. Like, I think that's what he's saying. Like the women cops are just as scary.
got it.
Anyway, this is not.
It would have helped if it was a sentence.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, one
Probably,
guy says when people take memes way too seriously, I hate to be a comedian in today's world, which somebody brings up, well, comedians are not publicly funded department.
Yeah.
There's not a publicly funded department of comedy that takes our taxes to make us laugh.
Oh, what a world.
You know? And one person pointed out that she had criticized them on their page and they blocked them. They actually blocked her from the page, which there is a debate going about that right now. There's actually legislation being debated about that. Can you block people from those types of things? Where it's a
the Kofifi
public
Act,
forum
right?
that's essentially, you know, this is taxpayer
It's
funded.
Facebook.
Right,
Yeah.
but it is an entity that represents them, which, you know, websites are almost kind of going by the wayside in that sense, whereas you mostly don't go to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton, police pages on their websites. You go to see them on Facebook.
Right.
So technically that is their website, so can you block people from that don't agree with you? It's an interesting debate. I agree, it is Facebook, but it's interesting to see that
President
people
tweets.
I was going to say,
Social
Yeah,
media
it's
man.
like
that doesn't,
Right. Well, yeah, and they're saying, you know, can
Kofifi.
somebody like President Trump or anybody that is a politician, can they delete a tweet? Because now they've made that a public statement.
they can do whatever they want.
Should they
It's a
be
website.
able to delete it? You know, but if they're like, say they're tweeting from the POTUS account, well,
If they're
that's-
I think
that's-
that's when it gets to be a little bit more debatable.
right.
Do I think the Wilkes-Barre Township Police, are those memes offensive to some people? I could see how people can misdrew that. Do I think that any of those memes define how any one of those officers uphold their oath to protect people and do their job? Absolutely not.
Unfortunately, though, that is the perception that they're sending, so it doesn't matter. And I respect what you're saying, but it's does that meme, in essence, like, and I'm speaking, this is a white male, I'm pretty, I can walk down the street, I'm 99%, I'm fine. But that doesn't, is it the meme itself? No one's, like, losing sleep over a memes.
They are.
But it's no. I disagree. They're losing sleep over the fact that you're a police officer, a person who is supposed to treat everyone equally, in a very tone deaf way, given the current political climate of our culture. Are posting these, it's why? What was the intent of sharing that? It wasn't an opinion. It wasn't like a controversial, this is what I agree and feel because for an ethical reason. It was a joke.
But the girl was in context to an article about topless beach. And with the girl, that's also people saying that this is so offensive to women. That's also victimizing women. That's saying that girl should feel like a victim because she's topless. That's also, it's making the whole thing like as if that woman was a victim of like the police's mentality, and that's not the case.
Sure, it's a picture that's out of context.
I could understand like if they were if that was targeted towards a woman or like a girl that, you know what I mean, but it wasn't. It wasn't directed at anybody, and I think that people got a little out of hand with being obsessed with being offended.
It's essentially reading more into it, is what you're saying.
Like that.
Okay.
But the other one I could kind of see with like maybe making light of sexual molestation or something like that, because it's obviously that kind of had that undertone.
Right.
That one I could see a little bit more, but the one with the girl holding her chest and giving a high five, that also makes it seem like women are victims of their sexuality
And stupid.
But
Oh, hey,
it's
what do I
not-
do? Do I high five him for his approval, or do I keep myself covered in this topless photo shoot? Like
I don't see that. I don't see how that could define how the police do their job.
I think it's just a conversation that shouldn't be happening. Like, we shouldn't be having this conversation. And I understand that it started as an attempt to humanize them and be like, hey, you can come up to us. We're cool, like you got a problem, come talk to me. But it's also like, oh, okay, so who can come talk to you? Like, the dude going for the high five can clearly talk to you. Like, but you know what I mean? So, like, I understand. And it's a conversation that shouldn't be happening. Just use discretion. And just never, like, the rule of comedy is just never punch down. It's not rocket science. Just don't punch down. Punch up, punch horizontally. Never go for someone who is beneath you in status, social class, whatever.
But that's the thing. People taking that and assuming that the woman is beneath them in status or a second-class citizen.
Exactly. But I mean, in the eyes of the law, she is.
Victimizing that woman who necessarily, she doesn't look like a victim.
No, she's doing a shoot. She's doing, she's taking a picture.
Right.
Yeah.
That just goes back to like the whole thing of like women kind of slut shaming others or making it like, oh, that's not okay that she's topless. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't see that woman as a victim in that meme, or you know what I mean. I see innocence in it, really. Like, I don't see like, I guess I just don't think like, I don't have that mentality that, oh, this girl, like, she's topless and she's in this vulnerable position. Like, I don't really see it like that.
I think some people take social media in different ways as well. Like there's some people who are like, it's just Facebook, or it's just Twitter, or it's just whatever. It's not real. I hear that a lot. It's not real. I'm like, well, you can argue that to an extent. It's a digital world. It's not the real world. But for some people it is. For some people who maybe stay inside all day, whether it's healthy or not healthy, whether they can help it or not help it. They may be disabled and they stay inside all day. Or they may just be somebody who has social anxiety and that's how they communicate with people, through social media. So we don't want to exclude those kind of people either. So it's interesting. I think it really depends on how you view social media as a whole. Is this a representative of a tax-paying entity? I would argue it is, and I would say
is it
whether
unprofessional?
Yes.
Super unprofessional.
That's the question.
That's
Is it unprofessional?
I think.
Do your job.
So.
Could it be?
It's a professional page. Just do your job.
It is. I think. Again, if this was like your Uncle Jerry who shares really lame,
You're like, all right, fuck you. Uncle Jerry,
stupid
whatever.
memes. Okay, Jerry. You might even like at your computer just go and like roll your eyes and chuckle.
Sure.
Is the image what is the meme itself? What is no? But it's the
It's the entity.
We've reached a point in our culture where apparently we can't talk in context anymore. It's like, when there's like, the men's campaign of that's a double standard. I shouldn't have to explain. There's a contextual background of a difference. Your stupid Uncle Jerry sharing a stupid, funny, silly meme, and a police force that I do respect. We as citizens, I do respect, and I want to ensure, if I was a citizen, of anywhere I am, that I can trust and know that the men and women who serve my community will protect me, and in turn I give them the respect they deserve. poor taste. It was bad context. It was unprofessional. And
I think, is it in poor taste? Yes, depending on what you consider innocent or not. But again, I'm going to repeat, do I think that those memes affect the way that they approach their jobs with professionalism? Any kind of victim of anything, I do not think that that defines how they approach those situations with caution or sensitivity or anything.
Sure, the cops can be an easy target.
But I can see how
nowadays.
you can misconstrue it.
So they might. Yeah, you're talking about, one of the commenters.
Like every joke you
talked
ever made
about-
defines how you.
Certainly
You know what I mean? Like
Certainly
that's kind
not.
of.
I think it's just, I think when someone's in a vulnerable position, like, you want to make them feel safe so that they can do the correct thing. And I think it's just always, I mean, in something as sensitive as victims of a crime, it's just so much better to be safe than sorry. Like, if this meme alien, would I, like, not call the cops because in a crime? Probably gonna call the cops. But, like, someone who's just had something horribly humiliating and violent happen to them, they're in a very vulnerable place and in that area, and they're gonna be like, I don't think that I can be humiliated again today. And then they won't do it. And then the next day they'll be like, I can't be humiliated again. And then the next day they're like, well, now no one's gonna believe me. So I think it just it feeds into a culture that's there. That's, and it might not even be the police who are reinforcing it. It might just be, unfortunately, another byproduct of, like, rape culture. And it's just better to just be safer than sorry.
I think it's a good rule of thumb if you would share it in an email at your workplace in an office full of all kinds of different people, and it's not going to get you fired, then it's pretty safe to put it out there.
Not suitable for work.
Right.
Don't
If
put
it's
it on a
something
public-
that you're going to get called into the boss's office and he's probably going to fire you for sharing this with somebody.
or even just reprimand.
Yeah, exactly. Then you probably just shouldn't put that on a public page like that.
And again, it goes back to does it make any inherently police officer of that force bad or unprofessional? No, but it
just makes their social media guy kind of an idiot.
exactly it makes whoever is that social media person. And again, it's the same thing with when, to use a very loose comparison, when several years ago when Chick-fil-A was under the major scrutiny.
Right.
Every sentient human being of an adult, I should say, every sentient adult, consenting adult, should have the right to marry another consenting adult. Statement. That's not the conversation we're having. What is the CEO of Chick-fil-A doing making a public comment about same-sex marriage, about marriage at all? Why is he talking? Like, who in the PR room gave him that microphone and didn't say, stop, you go worry about chicken? Again,
Right.
I'm not trying to say that makes it okay I don't agree with his thought process or mentality, but it comes back to not every thought an individual has is worth sharing, and not everyone is cut out to handle public relations. Yeah. I'm sure every single person in this room, on screen, off screen, or watching, has made that joke at the party that you didn't mean any harm, but was probably literally like
On the way here, I was like, all right, don't bring up this, because I think it's going to send me down a rabbit hole where I'm going to say something stupid and I'm immediately going to regret. Don't bring it up. Like, I always do it.
right.
Always.
But then when
It's
Get
polite
it.
to just always
Yeah.
be conscious of who
Yeah.
you're around and how the things you say are going to affect them, whether it's just trying to be funny or expressing yourself.
Right.
It's always the right thing to
Right.
do.
And-
to be conscious of others.
No, absolutely, and I think it also goes back to when people cry afoul of, I thought we lived in a country with free speech. We absolutely do. You can say anything you want. You can post, and again, not even talking about this instance, you can share any meme you want.
There's consequences.
We don't live in a country without consequence. Well,
Actions.
For some people.
Unfortunately, apparently not.
Who knows what's going on?
And anyone who says that doesn't trickle down and create the mindset of the culture we seem to be having, I think is absolute bogus.
And just, I'm allowed to judge people.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to judge you on your actions.
right.
That's it.
Right.
That's where judgments come from.
It's probably the most fair
That's
way
why
to
you
judge
act.
anybody.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
judge you on your actions.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Does it mean I'm going to condone you for the rest of your days? No. Prove that was an anomaly of your actions, not the norm. But until you have
That's what I
proven
mean.
otherwise.
People making it like that defines how they approach their job or approach women or approach victims. Like, I think that for them to take that meme that was in context relating to topless women on a topless beach and to put that as their mentality to approach, it's just not the case. Like, think about every joke you've ever made or anything silly that you may have done or anything. Like, it just doesn't define. But I get the aspect that it's unprofessional.
Sure.
But I just don't. I think the backlash got a little out of hand when it came to like.
As a lot of those things do, because
Assuming that's just
the
how they
comments
deal with
pile on top of
things.
comments, and people start arguing, and then you wonder, okay, I'm like 10, 15 minutes into this, and I'm still reading and whatever. Has this accomplished anything? Has any
Right.
have
That's
any
another thing. Like,
minds
being
been
offended
changed?
is the most unproductive thing that you could possibly do. Is be offended.
Right.
When
And-
something's offensive, I think it's okay to respond to it.
It's okay to respond to
Oh,
it, but
sure.
is it productive?
But sitting there reading a post for 15
No,
minutes.
no,
And
'cause
being
it
like,
couldn't help anything.
these sons of bitches. Like, just
The people
do
arguing
something
with each
or
other.
get
Reply,
up
share the
and
message.
walk away.
Right,
Just stand up and go put
Right.
something else into the universe besides
Right.
your internalized weird energy.
Right.
To the note about the context, though, to then follow it up, and I know we all talked about, but to then follow it up with that second meme, that whoever is behind that computer.
I think that second meme was just
confirm-
kind of like, we're unapologetic to how you feel about this. That's pretty much like
Yeah,
what
you're
that
a
was.
public,
Right.
you're
Tone
public,
deafness.
you're public servants. Again,
Yeah.
not the police. The person, 9 times out of 10, even nonprofits, the person running the social media isn't like the person running the social media isn't necessarily a police officer. It is, you know what I mean? It's someone.
In this
you
case,
know.
they said it was actually.
Okay.
But- and see, I'm like,
there's three different officers that trade off duties and stuff like that.
That's bad.
And then it came
That's
into
really
well,
bad.
okay, are you posting memes while you should be working? You know,
Yeah,
kind of-
yeah.
Which they
Well,
said, oh no, we're posting
well,
that.
that's- yeah,
we're
I mean,
posting
that's-
that, you know, later
like-
on at night.
They
and
do
stuff
have
like
other
that. I'm
lives.
like,
It
yeah,
is not
okay,
that
I
it's-
guess, but come on, like.
The second response, though, of we're not apologetic. Again, you don't have to be.
Then the humanizing aspect of this has just flushed down the drain.
Then you don't care. Then you're not.
Right.
I'm not sorry that I've scared you.
Instead of
Like,
saying, "Hi
no,
guys,
no,
hi guys."
that's not why we started doing this.
Right. Instead of saying, "Hi guys, we wanted to make a joke. We're trying to, be cool and chill. However, here's the deal. We're not trying to there wasn't it wasn't about."
I don't think they felt like they needed to explain themselves either. I feel like that was part of it. Like, I don't feel like that they.
And I don't think they did feel like they needed to explain
No,
themselves.
they didn't. They didn't. You're absolutely right.
But
they do.
We're talking about it, so they do kind of need to explain themselves.
It's very borderline like Steve Buscemi and the backwards hat. Hello, fellow kids.
From 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Like-
That's exactly it.
Like,
That's exactly it.
Okay, I get you're trying to be an edgelord, and I know what edgelord means. Super cool. And it's like,
And again,
I get
and
it.
again, I
but-
applaud the intent, and I have nothing but respect for the men and women, who, in the, whether it's police or fire or EMT services that put their lives on the line. It does not excuse,
I feel like this is another thing that like people do so much good every single day, and that they
Right.
they design their life to do good and protect the community.
Stuff like that
And then
kinda-
one bad thing, it's like, oh my God, like freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just recognizing and appreciating everything they do, which people do, but as soon as everyone loves that, everyone loves to just jump right on that one thing and turn it into.
But I mean, in
I
this
mean,
instance,
that's our culture.
I don't think it's about. I mean, this is a much bigger conversation to be having, but I think that when people jump on the police for one little thing, I think they're jumping on the police for a greater issue, and it's just kind of like an outlet.
They're pointing at something that maybe
They're pointing at
systemic.
they're pointing at the way the police force functions as part of our government, and certain legal reactions to the things that we see on the news every day, and it's this
It's a
small
frustration.
it's a microcosm. It's this little way to tweet at them, be like, you are not above the law. You are part of this too. You can't, and I think that's. I mean, if it was just a meme and everything else weren't going on, I think people would be
I
like,
think
"No,
that's the
fuck
thing.
you, man." It
Everyone
wouldn't be a
takes
big
everything
deal.
so personally right
But
now,
this
especially
is-
with the election and like.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
part of a
it's
bigger
always things
conversation.
are
They're at a new
emotional.
height now.
because things are happening to people.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing.
terrible things are happening to people.
Horrible things in this country are happening, and so it's everyone's taking it so personally because it happens personally. Not to me. I'm not going to pretend you know what I mean. So I don't I saw that meme. The reason it was brought to my attention was, and I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she was comfortable with that, but a local musician, a female musician, shared a beautiful post about it. She was mutually respectful of the police force, as an institution in general. However, railed into this, and rightly so, again, for all the points we've already all debated and discussed and stated our perspectives on. But, so to be honest with you, scrolling through, I'll fully admit my ignorance and my blasé entitlement showing, I probably would have just kept scrolling. But it was because it came from a female voice that I highly respect, that shared her perspective on the situation, and then reading the conversation that we had from there. So
Right.
again, that's the positive element of this social media dialogue culture we've arrived at. And then the negative is that we love the scent of blood. We love we love this one thing and around, but then we do, and it's disgusting, and I 100% agree with you. I'll give you an example. I can't stand the stupid, like, have you seen this person who stole a gallon of milk from Walmart? And it's shared 500
Yeah.
times. I'm not condoning stealing at any level, and certainly not, but the person stole
Gallon of milk.
gallon of
Should
milk
probably- yeah,
from
like
Walmart.
cover kids
And also,
or something like
also, do you know that? Do you know?
It's not. Yeah.
This is not a violent crime. This was not. Again, I don't know.
But it's the
Context and
humiliating
things like that.
people.
Yeah.
And
Right,
like bringing
it's the-
people down
This
or
person's
like.
stealing milk, and like
Why?
this person sold milk
Probably
and
need it.
bread.
Have you seen Les Mis?
It's also Walmart, guys. I'm sorry.
they're fine. They'll be
They're fine. They're fine. Sam Walton's dead, but his family's fine. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
No, but it's the duality. But when we do prick that finger and we get the scent of blood and we go in for the kill, but then by doing that, a huge, disgusting evil and injustice is exposed as a result. Then what's the priority? We don't react because in all reality, yeah, it's Facebook. It's a couple of memes. Or do we? But there's the
You don't want a war without battles.
Yeah,
That's a good
You
way
gotta
to-
fight battles to win a war.
right. And it's
And they're tedious. And they're,
and they're
tiring.
tedious, and you lose
And they
you
seem
win.
stupid, but
and
you
And
just-
they picked that bad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they say, okay,
Right.
I guess
Yeah,
we're gonna
of all
have to
the-
have a battle. here.
Correct.
And, like,
Yeah. Is this the battle that's going to turn the tide?
And hopefully with the good that comes from it, like our mutual friends, I read that as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very beautifully written, and I completely understand where she was coming from, and where I understand where both sides are coming from.
Right.
And hopefully, in the end product of people being upset about this and expressing why they're upset about this, maybe they will be a little more careful with the jokes that they,
Exactly.
and that's it. And then that's the
If we all just thought about, you know what, my actions have effects on others, and if we all felt that way, we'd be all fine.
yeah.
That's
That's the thing.
My
that really
actions.
is the thing. Just being polite, and I
Yeah.
feel like I don't think police officers really feel that they necessarily have to be polite all the time, or like they just don't have that mentality.
It's not even
You
polite.
know?
It's just the decency. I'm not asking you to be my buddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
the door for you.
You know,
Just
no,
like
no, just decency.
Be chill.
And I'm asking that of every human being. Just decency. You don't have to be even like friend. I don't even care if you're friendly to me,
Yeah.
like another person. Just treat each other as you want to be treated at a base level. Again, there are surface gestures, and then there's just a human base level. Do you know where there's not any of this happening? At the Darling Core.
Yes,
Full
let's get those last minute plugs in there.
The Darling Core, July 7th and 8th in Honesdale at the Cooperage Project. July 11th and 16th at East 59 East 59 Theaters in New York City, and August 21st to the 26th in Edinburgh, Scotland. And you can find more information about the Darling Core and us and the New Vintage Ensemble by going to newvintageensemble.com. And we also encourage you to check out the Scranton Fringe Festival and the Scranton Shakespeare Festival.
All right. Well.
Boom.
Yeah.
This was really fun.
this is really fun for having us.
I want to come back every week.
Yeah, I love just sitting in a room and talking to people.
Did we get any comments while we were on the air? Did we get any?
We got some really silly ones. Like are
we still on? Are we still
Johnny,
on?
one of our
Yes.
co-hosts, saying that was so surprised that I was wearing shorts. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy my legs.
Johnny
Thank
likes
you.
to show off
Spice
his
it up,
calves.
spice it up.
Thank you very
Walk
much.
it, walk
he's
it,
on.
walk it out.
I hope I didn't blind anybody with my pure
Oh,
whiteness.
dude.
Well, I've never seen you in short sleeves, and I never realized that you had
I have
all this like
tattoos.
tattoo action. So that's cool. So that was
I
I'm
do.
with Johnny. That was
All right.
I was
fair
surprised.
enough.
Good, John.
I feel like I was seeing you in the winter.
And Shannon Dunleavy says that she's so excited for you.
Oh, thanks,
thanks,
Shannon.
Shannon.
She's a shit. Though. She's really cool.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you.
And Rob McKeege says, hello, Fringe.
Hey, Rob. Dr. McCage, thank you so much.
So thank you all for tuning in, and please you can leave your comments after we're live and everything too. Thank you so much, and we'll see you same time next week, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on Facebook. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys.